I'm back at it again. I'm back at it again, So, the point of this conversation right here is just, science as a whole, you know. I think that we don't look too much at science. I think as a race of people where we're really science based, black people, I feel like we don't look at science enough. And I think that's a big problem. We're the most scientific people on the planet, and we don't look at science at all. We take it for a joke. We talk about BS all day, literally. And, the moral of this conversation is that science literally runs our lives, and we probably don't even take a look at it our whole life. I think that living in a world where science changes pretty much every day, and, excuse me, we just need to acknowledge science way more as a group of people that are literally based around science. Literally, that's our life. Literally, life force. We don't even care about it. We take it as a joke. We look at it as, bullshit conversation. The point of this video is to acknowledge the fact that, we're going to have to look at science way more in these coming years. And it's very beautiful, you know, to study science. But we're not taught these things, we're not, you know, made sure that these things are in our life. That's a big point. We're not encouraged to really be around these things as much. And that's the point of this conversation is that we need to push and strive more to be the closest thing to science. And I mean every form of science. I don't care if it's science about grasshoppers. Literally. If it connects to us and is very valuable, let's talk about it. So that's what this channel is about. This channel is literally about just having, science at the forefront of everything we do. Science is very important. Science built you, literally. So the point of the conversation is, to have a mutual understanding on, how science impacts our lives every day. And really change our lives by that. Not just saying, oh, this is that, and now I found this discovery. Change your life when you hear about these discoveries. That's the point. It's not, we could look up 8 different things right now and find out it's not real or it's something that you didn't know it was. We could do that any day. We could look up we could probably look up 40 things a day that you didn't know. Or 40 things a day that you misinterpret. You thought that was and it wasn't. We could do that. But no, people want to talk BS and talk about things that are meaningless and put things in their life that does nothing for them. Literally, science helps you in so many ways. You can't tell me 5 ways that anything else helps you in anything. I'm just talking about life, even your job. You can't tell me 5 things that your job really help you with life. Tell me 5 things. I want y'all to tell me 5 things that anything that you do in your daily life that helps you 5 different ways. This is how important science is because I could tell you arguably 20 things that science helps you with in your life. So we're wasting so much time on things that are so meaningless. And the point of this conversation is that, science should be the forefront of everything. You see how relationships and black love is quote unquote the thing is so in now? It should be science. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna revolutionize YouTube. We're gonna make sure that people fully understand that science is, the most important thing in your life. Period. It's no discussion. This is not a debate. I'm just telling you something so you can be filled in into the existence of actuality. Because reality is so taught. Going back to what I always tell you, our reality is so taught. A person can live 60 years in a reality and not look at actuality one time. When you realize how important actuality and science is and how they coincide, the hairs on your arm may stick up. Being involved with, science, having a relationship with science is therapeutic. Wait, therapeutic, sorry. It helps you so much, literally. It's like literally being your own therapist. Literally. Just being straight up. I could teach you how to be a researcher. I could teach you how to, yearn for information. You know, when I first stepped into this life of science or this life of, just being a researcher, you could say, one thing I really realized was how much people, the average person in the street, average person in the world, period, don't know. And it's really hurtful, you know, when you think about the average person and, how, just really how they live life. Going back to the saying where a person can live 60 years in reality and not look one time at actuality. Think about that. A person can live their whole life and not look at the truth. It's very important to be in tune to, you know, science and the basics of science. Just understanding what science is, what it coincides with. Because science also has intangibles. It also reaches and latches on to other things. So understanding that science comes in so many different forms and it elevates and it demonstrates. It just does so much. You got to be uh, very inclined to these things, very privy, snappy into it, because things change so rapidly. But if you realize why they're changing or how they're changing, you'll never miss a beat. So that's the point. And science is a scary thing. I would add, it would. It would be, for a lot of people because you have to, how some people say face their demons. That's what they say. But that's what it really is. I think it's very valuable for you to study the place you're in and the people you're around. Also, life. It's very, very valuable. It is. Don't ever, just take it for granted. Oh, I can just live life. I don't have to study people. Oh, people are just regular. People don't mean anything. Da 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 da. Everything means something. I always tell I always tell people this. Everything means something. Anything means something. People got to stop taking life for granted. Life ain't cheap. Life ain't free. People just think life is free. Life is, it's given. You got to earn life. And that's the point of this conversation. And that's what science is. It's about earning life. Not just saying, oh, I'm living it. I'm in it. I look like it. We have to become way more strategic in how we move. It can't just be I, me. This new world concept of how we live, everything is I only see I. People are a joke. I'm gonna keep it 1,000. People are a joke. Everybody needs somebody that's first off. And more importantly, you know, people need the world. Anybody that ever tells you F the world, I'm not even gonna lie. That's one of the dumbest things I ever heard in my life. F the world. Think about that whole concept. F the world, but I need the world. If it wasn't for the world, where would I be? The world is science. So learn how to have patience with yourself and study some science. And you can always come to me. I'm up 24 hours a day, 365. Don't worry, I'll make it happen for you. Any questions, I'll answer. And I think the moral of this, conversation is just understanding that people do what they want. But you can't be those people. That's the moral of the story. Science is very important because if you are the person those people are, you'll never get the results that you need to get. That's the point of this conversation is dig deep into yourself. Go for higher. Go for the best that you can do. Life is made for you. Love yourself. And more importantly, be yourself. Those are the two biggest problems that we have when it comes to people that don't deal in science. They're not really themselves, that's first off. And 9 times out of 10, it's really hard for them to love themselves. Because a lot of people, look, when you don't have the real answers to life and you don't study, the things you're supposed to study, you don't understand a lot. So you start getting emotional. You realize that there are people that study a lot, they're not emotional. Because your mind and your spirit is always on an emotional roller coaster. You don't even have time to be emotionally, physically. You don't even have that energy. Because your mind and your spirit is somewhere else. That's why people lose their mind, because their mind, spirit, soul are, I can go down the list, you understand? Are all just combobulated. You have to know how to balance that. That's the point of this conversation. Science is a great balance for life, for a relationship with yourself. Nobody cares about you but you. Stop thinking that other people care about you because they laugh with you. It gets me mad because you realize a lot of people that, don't study science actually just don't know a lot, naturally. Not saying that they're dumb, but when I hear a person that's not really deep into science, I realize that person just doesn't know a lot. And it's not a problem. It's just something that you have to realize. You question someone and they say, well, I don't really dig into science. I'm not really about that. Understand that person is lost. You got to realize what science is and also how to incorporate science in the communication of life. You can't just be a researcher or just a studier. Just, oh, I'm going to research and I'm going to find out what I need to find out. And, whatever I know, I know. You have to indulge yourself in the existence of life. After you learn the science, you still have to deal with people. Because you're going to learn some heartbreaking things. You're going to come across some things that will be mind blowing. But the point is for you to get to a point where you know internally, I'm comfortable. I may be losing this race or losing this fight, but I'm comfortable. A lot of people, and this is why I love science, a lot of people are just not comfortable with themselves. Even without debate, personally, that's why I debate, because you have to see how comfortable you are within yourself, and more importantly, how comfortable you are within your research. It can't just be, oh, I've learned this, and I got it. You learn things, then you go out in the world and you see where the average people mindset are. You ask questions. You don't indulge in a real debate. You have to know how to debate, when to debate. It's very important that you know how to debate and when to debate. Because when you get this information, when you get, really indulged with this level of research and information, you feel like you got something. And this is the point of the conversation, right here. I'm going to end shortly with this. Like, share, and subscribe as well. Like, share, and subscribe. You need to have a thermometer on how hot or cold a individual is in terms of you debating with that individual. If they go past a certain temperature, then you debate him. And I mean in terms of the temperature, in terms of the knowledge they may have, in terms of how they present the information they have. Having this thermometer will make you become a better person with even communication with others. You need to know that you're going to be your biggest supporter when it comes to science. And I think that's literally how it should be, even within even life. You should be your biggest supporter with everything. But we're just talking about the basics of science. You're going to be your biggest supporter. Point blank, period. The moral of this conversation is for us to acknowledge the fact that, we lack, in science. And I'm just talking about black people. And we're a science-based culture. Literally. Everything about us is science. I love to understand that it's a systematic plan against us, because, when you think about any other culture, they're not science. They're just a culture. Think about it. Take a second and think about any other culture that's not African or African American. They're a regular culture. It's not science. No one is truly studying it. It's never truly been really truly studied. Any culture that's truly been studied I guarantee you it came from African culture. So the point of this conversation is that science is very, very informative, when it comes to black people. And we just need to indulge more into science. And with that being said, get out of all these relationship conversations and, you know, all these hurt people conversations. People are hurt. And you need to recognize them before you knock on the door. Before you knock on the door, you should recognize who they are. Realize they've been hurt. Understand that you are a beautiful person. Doesn't matter what you've been through. You're better than all of them. I'm about to sign off. But thank you so much for being here. Like, share, and subscribe. I can't say it enough. Like, share, and subscribe. I need to get into the algorithm. And we need to push this message. We really do. Because science is going to help us. It's going to give us the answers to why we're hurt. It's going to give us the answers to, why you're, lost mentally, spiritually, physically, So get in tune. Stop being lost. Because that's what it really is. You're lost into things that you don't even need to be in the first place. So love yourself first. Put yourself first. Like, share, and subscribe. Please like, share, and subscribe. I need to get in the algorithm. The Cash App is Love Alien Blood. Please help the situation. Help the progress of information, because we will get that information out to you. And know thyself. Be real to yourself. And with that, I'm signing out.